A new poll from USA Today. Question: what is your opinion of the job Donald Trump is doing as president? Strongly approve, 23%. Approve, 24%. Disapprove, 14%. Strongly disapprove, 30%. And so the president is up by 3. Do you generally approve or disapprove of President Trump's temperament? Approve, 30%. Disapprove, 60%. Undecided, 10. You're undecided about his temperament? Yeah. Do you believe President Trump has shown leadership in his first 40 days? Yes, 55. No, 41. Finally, President Trump has said journalists and the media are the enemy of the American people. Do you agree or disagree? 34% agree, 59% disagree. Here now to analyze Geraldo Rivera and Eric Bolling. What jumps out at you, Bolling?
Well, first of all, clearly the Trump win is controversial, and you're seeing that reflected in those polls. They're almost all evenly divided, with the exception of the last one about whether or not the media is the enemy of the United States, the American people. If they rephrase the question, an enemy of the American people, I think you'd have it flipped, and 59 or more would say yes. I would agree with that.
Just flipping to the, or the
taking the out.
Is it one of the enemies?
Correct.
Right.
I mean, clearly our biggest foe could be Iran.
I'm not sure that that would flip it. I'm not sure about that.
You don't think that if they said, is the media and
here's how I would have phrased the question. I do agree that it's poorly phrased. I would have said, do you believe the media, all right, can be an enemy to the American people?
Enough.
That's all. I'm not a blanket every second, because I'm the media, and you guys love me. I know you do. All right.
What's the relevance of that question at all? First of all, I think this poll is totally legit. Suffolk University did a great job in terms of getting a big sampling from what I call Trumplandia, all of the South, the Rust Belt, lots of Fox News viewers. They really did a pretty good job. And they came to the same conclusion that I think people watching this program tonight would come. The president has shown excellent potential. The stock market is way up. The country, in many ways, already better off than it was on January 19th. But his temperament with these tweets and this recklessness when he puts out things like the wiretapping allegation with no proof whatsoever, that really is dragging him down, and he's really self-inflicting.
So if he would cut back a little on the flamboyant tweets, then his numbers would even go up higher?
I think that I really do believe. I think that, first of all, his approval numbers might surprise some people. He's very competitive, where Barack Obama was through much of the second part of his presidency, 47, 44.
That's because the economy is getting better.
That's because the economy is getting better. I think that this discussion on Obamacare and what replaces it might have some drag, but
not yet.
I was tremendously enthused and positive about the fact that the same two-thirds of the American people want the Dreamers to stay. They want immigration reform.
Because Americans are essentially fair people.
They are, and they're dubious about spending the $54 billion
extra. They are fair people, and I think this poll, it was a fair poll, except the phraseology of the media question, I'll grant you, was, are they the bad, they're not on the level of ISIS, the media. Not yet. They're trying to get there. We'll have black flags outside of some of the liberal entities soon. Now, the economy getting better is going to drive all of the president's poll numbers up, right?
What happened today? Axios put out a couple of numbers. There are 3.
What's Axios?
Axios. You have to read this. This is the best.
Axios? Is that a website?
It's a newsletter every morning and a website, but you take 10 minutes out of your day, and everything that's going on in D.C. I highly recommend that. All right, so they put out, they talked about, I don't, 3 major Chinese tech firms that are promising investment in the United States. Also today, ADP came out with a private employer number. 298,000 people were hired last month. It blew the doors off the estimations. For an example, President Obama, even in his best years, rarely exceeded 200,000.
Right, so the economy's looking up.
But you know who cares about those tweets at 4 or 5 in the morning? Who cares? The media cares. American people care about the jobs.
Bolling, when you're a president, you accuse your predecessor of tapping you, everybody takes a look at that. Everybody takes a look at it.
It's reckless and immature.
Unless he has.
And I love the guy. I wish
middle America cares about.
Unless he has evidence that members of the Obama administration did it.
But even if you have evidence, is that the appropriate way to find the
appropriate way to get attention?
Is that the
appropriate way to get attention?
He's the president. He controls the attention button. He can get attention anytime he wants.
So I think that there was a reason why he did that, but I don't know what the reason is.
Well, all I know
because
is
it doesn't matter, because it gets people talking about other things other than this whole Russian issue. I'll tell you what American people care about. They care about jobs. They care about being able to put food on the table.
Sure.
And they care about wages.
I disagree.
All three of those things are better under President Trump than they have been in years.
You disagree they care about that?
I disagree that the American people do not care about Russia. In the survey, Russia also polled 2/3 of the American people want to get to the bottom of that story. Now, I personally, if you're asking me, I don't think there was any wiretapping, and I don't think there was any Russian collusion.
I
think that in both those cases.
Geraldo, there was wiretapping. The question is, did President Obama direct the wiretapping? That's the only question.
I mean, it was wiretapping
no
on the Russian ambassador.
On the Russian ambassador, but not but the way the president
but
said
that Russian story, that's starting to dive now, big time, because there's just no evidence to back it up. Gentlemen, as always, thank you. Directly ahead, a day without women. It's happening right now. Take a look at it. But later, it seems Ivanka Trump's clothing line is doing well, despite Nordstrom and other retailers saying the opposite. We'll have the facts. Ooh, those facts.